Good evening. Tonight it's my privilege to introduce Danielle Fernandez-Davila, an active archaeologist and social studies teacher at Wayland Middle School since 2005. Danielle holds an MA in Archaeology and Ancient Heritage from the University of Leicester in England. He has conducted excavations, mapping projects, and research in the Andes, and most recently in the North Cloud Forest of Peru. He has served as an historical advisor for the BBC and Discovery Channel for their documentaries, and has 25 years of teaching experience. Just a quick note, if you hadn't already noticed, Waycam is filming this event, so it will be viewable on their channel and as well as YouTube, and you may see the back of your head on television. So thank you so much to Danielle for returning to the library to share the results of your latest expedition.
Great. Thank
Please
you so
enjoy.
much for having me here. Yeah, great. So as I said, I was testing sound there, but I want to show you, going to go to the presentation and then give you our goals quickly. So I'm going to go here, put it there, and start right away here, just with that one. There it goes, just testing that everything fine. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so give you the background quickly. I came here, I think, in April or May, something like that before. And it was before what we were planning to do. So Tina was here, you guys were here, and some people watch it. So it's kind of cool to see what happened, isn't it? I gave the chapter 1, and this is the conclusion. And I remember when I came here, I said, we're going to go and try to also do this, isn't it? And we accomplished tries, and we were rewarded with way more than we expected. So it's like we hit something that was 2 things that were unbelievable, that I didn't expect to, which is fantastic. Number 1, our goal was simple. It's not doing an archaeological project yet, because for an archaeological project, you need a special permit. You need to proceed with the laws of Peru, and it's more advanced. Our main goal first was to test the technology, how this new 3D scanner, Artec, which is super high quality, it's gonna perform in the high jungle. Is the humidity gonna affect the light? Is there gonna be reflection in the petroglyph? We don't know how it's gonna behave, the capturing of this monolith. So we need to test it. We couldn't do an archaeological project if we don't know first what we need to bring to the jungle. We don't want to invest in an archaeological project knowing that our main technology is going to fail. So, but we cannot touch, and we didn't touch anything. We were passing by in this jungle canyon, going to La Morada to deliver supplies, and I knew, because I was there in 2008, that there is a site called Pucarrumi. And this site called Pucarrumi, on the way to La Morada, 1 hour from this town in the jungle, was explored and discovered by this great archaeologist, Inge Schellerup, from the English Royal Danish Museum. She explored all this area before, and she actually mapped the whole site. And she published, did excavations. There are Inca baths in this place. When you're walking to La Morada, she photographed actually a monolith that was standing there, which you can see it in this photo. She got some photos that she shared with me. And she knew also about the site because there was an explorer called Savoy, Jean Savoy, who did an exploration in 2000. She went in 2002, 2005, and did it again. And that's when she did the true archaeological work in the site, which laid fantastic map of the area, and she published about this site. But besides a couple of photographs, nothing else was done with the monolith. Later, Keith Musquet, before Keith Musquet, another friend of mine also explored, passed by, and he also photographed a lot of monoliths that were there, including this one and one more that we couldn't find. Keith, close friend of mine too, shared some of the photos with me. So I passed by in 2008 the first time to just go into La Morada and deliver help there. And there was no road. It was full machete. The road was destroyed. But we managed to arrive, and we gave a small donation in 2008 to the school. On my way, the locals told me about the monolith for the first time. And I have a chance for the first time in 2008 to stop and then take some photos. And I remember taking photos in different angles. And the monolith, it's just there. You walk the path, which cuts the archaeological site, where everybody walks. And the monolith is just there, next to you, huge, covered with, it's just abandoned there in the jungle. You just pass with your horses and everything, and the stone is there next to you. So I remember taking photos and said, recording. We tried to do paper and trace it. It didn't work. It was too humid. It was fading away, the carving, so we didn't record anything. It was like disappointed. Said, forget about it. But we got dimensions and a lot of photographs that I kept in all negatives. And I put it there. We did the donation, and we came back. So after all these years, finally, I contact this company who were like exact metrology, and they were very nice and said, this is very interesting. We want to do with you this project. And says, listen, I'm passing by. It's going to take us 2 hours. We pass by, we stop 1 second, and let's try it without touching or disturbing or touching anything. Let's get the light and give it a try to see what we can capture there. And that's what we did. We deployed actually everything in our way back, actually, because in our way in, we pass actually in front of this area. And then as I'm going with my horse, I said to one of the guys, Sinesio, this is where the monolith is. And I says, I don't see it. And he said, like, no, I need it. It is here because the river is there. It has to be there. And we were looking, and impossible. It was all jungle. I know it's here. It's looking at us, but it's here. And Sinesio it's almost like 6. It's going to get dark. We need to get in 1 hour to La Mora. We must. We are not, riding horses in the night. And Sinesio comes out with a lower wing, and then by the wrist says, they go, and then they take their machete, says, we're going to clean it and find it. And I said, you cannot do that. We don't have time. Forget about it. I know it's here. We'll come back. So I not even knew that it was there. I said, I know it's there. Forget about it. So we went to the town. We stayed a couple of days. A storm pushed us one day early, and on our way back, I brought photos with me. So I said to the locals, here it is. This is the monolith. You know what it is? Oh, yeah, we know what it is, of course. One of you comes with me. So Demosthenes, one peasant, put his little backpack. I know what it is. It's here in this place. In between, when we're leaving, somebody came with a cell phone, an old flip cell phone. And then one of the guys says, Daniel, there is somebody who wants to show you something. We're leaving right now. We got no time. He says, you want to show you something. And then he says, I don't have time. No, you have to see this. And then I went, okay. So I go in my phone, and he showed me the phone and says, where do you get that? I said to this, is that, and then the peasant there, this guy says, I found it behind the monolith. It's in my house. And then and I said, okay. So then I took my phone and said, hold on, can I take a photo of your phone? I said, because you don't know what you have. He said, I don't know. I found it there when I was plowing potatoes. He said, okay. So the first thing that I did is I took a photo of his phone, and I'll show it to you. I said, okay. And then that's it. I took a photo of his phone, and then I stopped there. And then we're leaving because we got to go. My scanner is already on the way, so I cannot send it to the house of this guy to scan what I'm going to show you he has. So I said, what is the scanner? It's 45 minutes. We can't. And so I call another member of my team and said, Rachel, do you have a radio? So yes. I wanted to go with the camera and photograph to the house of this guy, find the house of this guy, get one of the guides, Einstein, and with Einstein, you're going to go from him, you're going to get him, and then with him, he's going to stay with you the whole time, photograph that in all the angles, and then meet me in the monolith 1 hour in the jungle there. Okay, Daniel, that's it. So she radioed. Did you get? Yeah, I photographed this whole thing one time. Okay, perfect. I'll show you what we found. And then we went to the monolith. And then she found, did you get it? Yes. The guy also didn't want the thing that he found be a scan. He said, can we, because I offered him, we can bring the scanner. And he said, what is a scanner? They not even have seen binoculars, isn't it? So can you imagine something that shoots light? So then it says, what is the scanner? I don't know what is a scanner, but I don't want it to. Okay, can we take photos? Just photos? Photos is okay. But no scanning or anything okay, no scanning. So I couldn't, if not, I would have scanned it, whatever. I'll tell you that's okay. So then we went, and we start, And then we scanned, and then we found the monolith. We found it. We clean a little bit the jungle. We just clean it. And then we proceed to scan that you're going to see. And just we went back and processed the images. And we found something in the monolith also that we didn't expect to find. And that's it was shocking to find that on the right side of the monolith with the 3D and the light. And I started sending it to archaeologists in Peru. And I said, are you seeing what I'm seeing on the right side? And they said, where did you get that? And I said, nobody has paid attention, and the scanner is revealing the right side of the monolith, which you're going to see it. It's a formative feline head, feathered formative feline head with 2 fangs, with a feline, with 2 feathers and the ears in the back. But it's a classic feline head with these 2 fangs that only the people from the formative period in Peru know how to draw. That means that if it's formative, that needs to be drawn between 0 and 200 AD, or 100 and that. So that means that the right side of the monolith has been carved a long time ago, 2,000 years ago probably. Okay? Most likely, the monolith was either reused by the Chachapoyas because it was sacred. There was already something old there. And we don't know also if they move it because the stone is not from there. That's sedimentary rock. But the point is that this discovery is huge because, and I'm going to show it to you, it pushes back the story of the valley. We now have evidence that people were moving, in that areas earlier than we expected. That's important. And also connects because we found formative in other parts, but not so deep into the jungle. So we didn't know if the people stopped there in early times because all this was later. But now we're finding here earlier, probably occupations. And it makes sense right now why the Pucarrumi site also have Inca occupations and probably has all the occupations in between. Because once the site is sacred, then you start using it and use it, isn't it? It's like you are walking on a site and you find something for you is sacred. You want to build your house there because the site has been sanctified. That's a classic. And then the next generation will do the same, and the next generation because it has power. And then it's also the encounter of 2 rivers, which is very important in the Inca structure. Like it's a tincuy, because there are 2 forces that are coming into that place. So let me show you now that I said that all where we're going to, super quick. So, let's see this. Okay, so if we're talking this, isn't it? If you go to Peru and you come with me to the high jungle, we were talking just in the table. It says, oh, you went to Peru. Have you been in Machu Picchu? No. It's like, that's the thing. I said, everybody, have you been in Machu Picchu? I was talking to Susan, not actually. I will, but I went to where nobody goes, which is here, isn't it? Machu Picchu, you can go all the time. Chachapoyas, you can't. La Morada, even less times you can go. Isn't it? It's like, if I go to Egypt, I do want to see the pyramids. I cannot miss it. But I would like to go to Abu Simbel or maybe other temples or KV65. I would like to see other tombs, isn't it? And the pyramids, I need to see it. If I come to the States, I would love to see the Statue of Liberty, but I think I will go first to the Grand Canyon. That's me, isn't it? And then I know. But in Peru, everybody, are you in New York? Yeah. Do you see the Statue of Liberty? Not yet. It's like, that's a classic question. You are in Peru. Do you go to Machu Picchu? No. But I've seen other things, isn't it? Lima is there, and when we're talking about Chachapoyas, we're talking about this area. This is the Marañón Canyon. This is the second deepest canyon in South America after the Colca. Colca Canyon in here is the deepest in all the South America. This is the second largest canyon. And the Chachapoyas encompasses an area here in this area. So this is the high jungle. We call it high jungle because it's jungle with elevation. You have, it's cloud forest. You have forest with 2,000, 3,000 meters above sea level. This is for everybody a classic chronology where we are, isn't it? Aztecs, Maya. So these are the main 3 civilizations. But it's good to plot it right away so you have an idea where the things fall, isn't it? Even though there is no 0, as you can imagine, I always tend to leave the 0 there because it gives you an idea where we are in the chronology, isn't it? So Mayas, Aztecs, Incas. Then we have Columbus there. So that's the civilization of the Chachapoyas. So when we're talking about Chachapoya, we're talking about the classic between 600 and 1470 when the Incas entered in the area and conquered the Chachapoya. So this is the classic bracket of Chachapoya. We found pottery, mummy bundles, everything that we found tends to fall in this. We can pull it a little bit back, like maybe 200 here. We cannot pull it back further than that in the Chachapoya area. We are guessing that we could have pulled it. But discoveries that we're finding, I think now we're filling the gap of the early periods, yes. So that's why the question mark, and still questionable, but I even can push it here because probably it's around this area. Is it formative? Yes. Is it exactly around that area because the style of the design? Remember, you cannot radiocarbon petroglyphs, isn't it? Cannot do that. There is no other way to date a petroglyph but by cross-dating. So cross-dating iconography, isn't it? You find this one. You cannot date it. But you're going to find this one inside of Best Buy on the desk of somebody who has another object on the top with a sticker that says the date. So because the two objects are pretty similar, you try to say, okay, so we are like trying to guess. So if you contextualize the drawings into another drawings or a bigger context where you can associate it to architecture, radiocarbon, then you are cross-dating. You got the date approximate always. But there is no technique with that. You can date obsidian, you can date, volcanic things, you can date, of course, carbon, but not a piece of stone, unless you associate it with something else. This is quickly giving you an idea, and I'm going to go super quick. So the area, then I'm going to show you where we're. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yes. Is that modified by people besides the petroglyph?
The only thing that I can tell you, Tonja, is that it was carried to the place because it said yes. There is nothing around that is sedimentary with that style of the monolith. Okay. Now, it's a whitewater rafting, so you cannot bring it through the river because it's a canyon. They must have carved a path in the jungle and drag it. But that's 1.2 tons, isn't it? And how far, I don't know. And then but did they drag it? Definitely they drag it. And the position that is right now probably is not the original. It seems like when you see it, it seems that it was abandoned. Like they were trying to move it to something and something happened. That's just a guess. And okay, let's leave it there. And it stays in an awkward position. Especially if you look at when you overlap the map of Inge Schellerup, doesn't make sense with the other architectural features. Unless there is something underneath. And then can be a dintel of, yes, that can happen too. But so this is quickly the site. I just want to show you the area. Let's see if we can. So that's the town of Leimebamba, where you can just most of the expedition start. You can see the Pacific coast here. This is the Marion Canyon. So the idea, the expedition way that cars will drop us here. We have to go to the first camp, which is around 8-9 hours. Second camp, the first day we didn't go, and La Morada is here. So it looks like everything is compact here and everything is so close, but it's really like, it's really far. It's just. Say it again? Pura is all the way up. No, yes, it's north. It's kilometer 800. We are around 600 to the east. Yes, Pura is all the way up. So Leimebamba, this is our route. This is the town of La Morada. And the monolith is around here. But so it's going to take you a good way to go there. I'm going to try to twist the Google Earth so you can see it from another position. This is the best way that I can show you what it is. Leimebamba, the cars will drop us here. This is our first camp. Now we got to go all this way here. This takes 12 hours. This is a jungle canyon. It's all the way here, isn't it? So you can see the terrain. There's nothing there, isn't it? Mishacocha, Guayabamba, cars are here. This pass is 12,000 feet. And then you go all the way down to the jungle canyon to that area, isn't it? Laguna Baya, that's next to our camp. But you can see the canyon there in the jungle. So the monolith is located around here. Let me see. Are your points too? Oops, there it goes. These are your points that I extrapolate all here. So now we took a, Sue brought this GPS so we can be a beacon, tack, 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 and then we start mapping. So thanks to her, we got data of absolutely every point that we have there. So, and we can insert photos now. We can put it in Google Earth. We got everything mapped. This is where the monolith stands. Can you see? This is the town. So it's 1 hour. We need to do 1 hour to get to Pucarumi. So then you got to go there. But that gives you an idea where it's located, isn't it? So how does it look like from real life? It's like this, isn't it? So this is Lemebamba, this is here. So what I tried to do is, let's see how does it look when you are here, okay? So then it gives you an idea a little bit that this is it, isn't it? There it goes. So this pass is that pass there. This is a swamp. You cannot go into the center. If you go there, you're dead. You're just going to swallow. That's where we need to go to the right side. You cannot cut through. It will swallow your whole horse and everything. So you have to go to the right side. So now I'm going to give you a view much more. Once we reach the top, this is walking at the plateau, 11,500, isn't it? So this is on the top. So you got to imagine that the people, are, let's see, there it goes. So,
ahí por ahí. Por eso cruzamos. Por eso vamos por el río.
It's impossible to go through the mud. So I said, get into the river because it's stones. If not, we're going to sink completely. So we're following the river upstreams. But at 11,800, isn't it? And behind our horses too, we got 24 horses. So. You just got to do that for 3 days, isn't it? Like you just can go one day way and then. So the next one shows you more the jungle canyon, isn't it? Let's see if I can. There it goes.
Where is the monolith in relation to the swamp and the river?
So we are here. Actually, this photo is coming back. So we needed to come this way in, but the monolith will be around here. So we are right now in the plateau on the top. The monolith is inside of the jungle canyon. Inside, so this is the canyons. Can you see, Tonja? This is the canyon. So the monolith will be, if you follow this canyon, around here. This is a view when we are returning, but it gives you an idea of the plateau. We need to do this, but also coming inside to the other side. Now you're going to see how tough is the jungle canyon inside with horses, isn't it? So this is now inside of the jungle canyon, isn't it? Where it's going. That's the trail that the people used to go in and out from the area. Milton. So you can have another view also of a jungle canyon. So it's a little bit muddy, as you can imagine. You need to ride a horse. You have to ride a horse. Some people are saying, you got to walk. You're not going to walk. You're not going to last like, you're not going to walk. You're going to sink to your knee. Let the horse sink. He's taller. And he has, they are not sorry. They know, they do it all the time. So you get into the horse and the horse goes and passes through everything to the mud like here almost. And he just goes, ram, like it's your 4x4. Goes. You will destroy yourself if you have to trust your horse and keep moving because they can do it. You won't do it. You will be stuck and they are delayed. And we are 12 people. You cannot be rescue everybody from the mud. Get into the horse. Don't talk to me until I tell you get off. You don't get off. Keep moving. There were some moments who were scary. Said everybody get off. Pull your horse, isn't it? Because it gets like cliffy and then you have to go. But this is kind of the idea. Now, this is the site from the drone. Now we're into the archaeological site. So we're coming here. This is Pukarumi. We took drone pictures. Now, train archaeology site start seeing structures, isn't it? One wall. Can you see this wall? There's another one here. A little bit more problem. There is something here. There's another quadrangle here. There is kind of an L here. And there is something here that is usually where the classic, isn't it? Where the trees grow, you have a structure here. The monolith is here. We're working here right now. So the river flows here, and the river flows here, so you make a peninsula. So it's something like this. Can you see? So it's going to make a peninsula here. And all this is the archaeological site. And these rivers meet and continue going down to La Morada, isn't it? So the monolith is located there. And this is the road that the people use. This is the road that the people. So it's just literally like, it's just there. Just laying there, for thousands of years next to that. So let me show you, when we pass, the next day, Demosthenes comes and says, I sent my team because I was telling people, we lost 2 horses with all our food, so we have to find the horses. And we brought the horses back, we found it. But meanwhile, my other team says, go and find the monolith. So finally, by the radio, they said, we found the monolith. So Demosthenes finds the monolith, and you can see why we didn't find it, isn't it? It's like the jungle swallowed. Probably right now, again, the jungle, that's it. Probably it's as covered as right now with the rain there. And then we clean a little bit more. And we clean a little bit more. We didn't touch any archaeological remains. The only thing that we removed was a little bit of moss that was there, just to have enough for the scanner. It's very important that we didn't touch anything. We didn't disturb the archaeological site. We didn't do anything. And then finally, we have it clean. You have the monolith. It's 13 feet, 12.5 feet. It's probably sedimentary stone, 1.2 tons. And it's the only side that has been carved is this side. Yes, we went underneath. We checked every possible way. You think, Daniel, is it here? No. We checked. We checked thoroughly. They carved it there, completely on this side. And it's in the middle of the jungle. So now we proceed to, these are old photos, actually, that were courtesy of Inga Schellerup and Keith Musquit. This is probably 2005, 2004. This one too. This is Keith Musquit. That's another from Inga Schellerup. And this is a drawing from Penny Berliner from Savoy expedition in 2000. So I want you to pay attention to that drawing so you can compare it with our scanning. This is just a drawing. So you can see how there are some things that she's detecting that, yes, isn't it? Like the classic, looks like the sun with it. Yeah, that's a classic. But these things are later. These are cha-cha. This side is very cha-cha. I've seen that a lot. So we're talking about probably between 700 and 1470. We don't know when, but it's later in the sequence. This is super classic. The spiral, the sun, all these areas are classic. But nobody's paying attention to the right side. The right side is even out of the picture. And here is the trophy. Here is the reward. But nobody pay attention to that. We not even pay attention too much to that until we saw the scanner and says, what's happening in that? And then I went back to the photos of 2008 and says, you have to be kidding me. I didn't know that was there. So here is the trophy here. So these are the classic. You got the drawings there. The spiral is here. She drew it as a spiral, but with the scanner you can see actually that it's more like a snake view from the top with two eyes. That actually, it seems that the snake actually swallows something because it's bulged in one part. But you can see only better because the scanner, the 3D scanner. So let me show you more what we have here. This is a very interesting one. So what I did is I took Inge Schellerup's map. Okay, this is Inge Schellerup's map from her book. She's the one archaeologist who created the map and did the excavations. And what I did is I overlapped it on the drone. So my drone picture, and this is the map. So here is where the monolith is. This is the road that the people are. We are working here. Next, we didn't do anything. We just went here. This is one of the rivers, flows like here. This is the other river. Okay? These are two Inca baths. These are Inca baths that were here. Okay? That's what I sent Elizabeth, actually. I said to Elizabeth, hey, I don't have time. Go and find the Inca baths. And then she just went here and checked that, yes, the Inca baths were there. And then there are other structures that are underneath right now. But one of the interesting things of the site is this. This is not natural. Okay, so it seems like a fortification to prevent the erosion of the river, to protect the site. These were like walls of stones that most likely were placed by the Inca to stop the river from eroding and impacted the site, which is sacred. Look at how this wall is so well protected here. It's protecting the Inca baths in the main structures. You don't have too much pressure on this side, but we noticed that all this was really carefully placed there. Huge stones, one on the top of the other, to create a stone and prevent the erosion, because the river is hitting this. Then it's going to go here and meet with the other river. So this is the place where they have to impact it, isn't it? So that gives you an idea of the site. There are new walls, like this one and this one, that were created after the publication of this photo and the exploration. But Inge Schellerup is the one who explored the site, not only explored it, but excavate the site scientifically. She's the one who did this fantastic map and named the site Pucarumi, isn't it? She's the one who truly explored the whole valley. We were just testing the technology. So this is another photo that Keith Musquit, I borrowed from Keith. He said, Daniel, if you can see, you can scan this stone. It's there in the site. We tried to find the stone, couldn't find it. Most likely, the locals took the stone and sold it, isn't it? Like, that's what happened. The locals are nice, but when they find something, they try to sell it right away. There are no museums or anything. I don't know where the stone is, but at least Keith got a photo. What is the interesting thing for me in the stone is if you look carefully, in archaeology, you have to look at the details, okay? That's important. In archaeology and in history, when you see that, you have to be like a detective. Yes, there are big things here. I always say that to my kids in the middle school. Look at the details. The details are the ones who carry more information in anything. So if you look carefully here and then you can see this, isn't it? It seems like nothing, but now you have 3 snakes that are enrolled like this. This is the eye, and actually the tongue is coming, and they're like ready to bite, isn't it? Like opening the mouth. It seems like nothing, and then it's of course repeated here, 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 isn't it? Why I'm pointing this in kids is because when we start scanning the monolith, there are tons of snakes all over the place. Like there are snakes here, snakes there. And makes sense. Even when we were in La Morada, suddenly we were in a meeting, and suddenly this guide said, well, Daniel, just tell the people be careful because there were 2 big snakes passing by. Yeah, now, imagine now that there are settlers in the area, how much they reduce the amount of snakes. But imagine 700 AD, pristine forest, the quantity of snakes there must have been, these guys get crazy. They have it in all the iconography. Snakes are all over the place. And some of them, I carry antivenom. I didn't use it, but there are a couple that are Botrox. I mean, they get you and you got 8 hours before, if you don't know how to apply but I have my, $900 antivenom ready with plasma and everything. I have it in my first aid kit, Knock on wood, I didn't use it, but I have it ready because but I never when I went down to that area, always Botrox, and then you have to order especially from Iquitos, but I carry my whole kit with syringes and everything. Locally, the snakes run away from us. And I don't scare my team, so when I see a snake, I don't tell them. I say, just go like that. But remember, this is in the low jungle. We're going down in the jungle, not in the areas of Chachapoya, but this is much more. Now, this is the monolith, and I want to show you some of the work that we did. Now, look at how we're proceeding to scan here. Okay, so that was funny. We forgot a meter stick, so we need to improvise one. Sorry. Let me show you this ones quickly.
I see that.
So, with this one's static, I'm going to show you super quick, explain you what is it doing, isn't it? So, solar lights, everything. We got the 2 techniques to recover 3D. We can use photogrammetry. That's what we use, which is basically a camera, and then you take a lot of pictures of this chair from every possible angle. Then you bring it to the lab, and then get a software that stitches, and then you got the 3D. Or you can use high-definition arc scanner, like penetrating scanner, which is this one. It's a mix. It shoots a light so fast, it's like a radar too. The light bounces back, and depending on the irregularities, it gives you the bumps of the stone. It's like a radar or a sonar. That's what it's doing, one. But at the same time, it's also shooting light and photographs. So it's taking hundreds of photos, where it's also shooting a laser, both things at the same time. So by doing that, you're capturing not only the surface, but you're capturing also the texture and the colors and everything. So the model is unbelievably perfect. The advantage over photogrammetry is that I can see in real time, because Wade was holding the computer, and then Jason is scanning all the monolith, and I can see where the scanner is not catching up in real time, where the scanner is reflecting bad light. So I can go, and Jason said, no, it went bad. We got to go over again. And then we go over. No, it didn't catch this angle. If you do photogrammetry, you cannot do that. When you come back to the United States or some place, you will have the photos and say, shoot, we didn't capture that part. Because you cannot reveal unless you bring a Polaroid, you can see your photos there in the place. But that gives you. The other advantage is it's more exact in terms of millimetric scanner. The photo will reconstruct, but not to the detail. So these give you more detail. So it's good that you can do photogrammetry with these. You can do it perfectly beautiful. But when I want to see the details, nothing can beat the scanner, the Artec 3D Spider scanner. It's a little bit expensive though, but I make a deal with the company, so the company helped me because bringing a scanner like that, yes, and then it's $19,000, something like that. And I said to the company, I cannot pay this. This is like a GoFundMe thing. You have to help me. And then we get to a point where they went down, because I tried to, we said in Peru, threw flowers a lot to the company. And then I said, listen, if you do it, you're going to be famous. You're going to be awesome. This is going to be great. So the company went down with the price to a point that I could afford it with the donation of so many people, and we could do this. Now, this is the model printed of the monolith, isn't it? Like this is the first model that the computer produces. Now, we can change a color too, and then we start trying different colors. When we change a color, you start revealing more information. Because what we did is, once we have the model, we can change, it's like in a spectrum, isn't it? We can start playing with red, silver, green, emerald. Which color is giving you the most contrast? So you can see the carvings. And we found out that emerald green was the best one in this case. So actually, we printed a huge one, and this one, and this one. But with emerald green, you can see all this part better. And with emerald green, you can see here a couple of feet and other things that you don't see it natural. So the idea really is do both. You need to take the photos and you need to do the scanner, because photos and a scanner complement. It's not that just do the scanner. Do both. Because sometimes, for example, this area, it was too shiny. Can you see? And then the monolith couldn't capture this. But the monolith captured these. And this one here, and a hole here, this one, that is going to be crucial, isn't it? Something is going on here that we didn't pay attention before because the photos couldn't capture. So now, because that, we went back to the photos of 2008, and then we start concentrating, and actually I went to Natick Center and said, can you do really high resolution of that area? And then start coming the things, because these lead us the way. So one complement the other. So I want to show you also that with that, we have the ability to create a 3D model that is perfect, isn't it? Now I bring to you a 1.5 ton, and you can manipulate it perfectly, isn't it? Because I can do whatever I want. You don't need to go to La Morada. I can give you this file if you want. Now you have 1.5 ton stone, and you can see whatever you want, and you can change the angle. And look at how, because the angle, the computer, can you see? You can study the monolith from the lab, because the angle will shine, and it will make you see the carvings. Moreover, another thing and then you can go closer. So that's the beauty of Artec 3D Spider Scanner, isn't it? I can do that perfectly. The bottom of the stone, you're going to see it. We couldn't see one section, so we needed to extrapolate points to create a rock there. But there was only one section. Other than that, look at the detail. Every crack, every color, this is true. Even you can see the moss, because the scanner is capturing color too. This is moss, actually, that is here. So that's the detail, yes.
Are those ripple marks?
This is just probably, I would say, can you see this? That's classic, it's the rain. The rain is hitting it so much that we have erosion.
Okay, so it's not
Yeah.
original.
No, it's not. It's just, that's my fear, isn't it? It's really getting eroded really fast because it's sedimentary. But you can have a perfect 3D model of the monolith there. This is the part, can you see that we need to complete a little bit because it was underneath, isn't it? Now, the beauty of these two is that we can 3D print it because we have all the data. So my goal will be also to bring, I can do a scale model half, put in the Museum of Lemebamba so blind people can go and touch the monolith. So now they can see the story, isn't it? The museum will start opening to other people. So blind people who were invidents and they couldn't go, they don't go to the museum, we don't have, start opening. No, the museum has to be open to other people too. So I can make them touch the monolith and then engravings and put the braille there and read and then tell them a story because I can create a model, isn't it? I just need to get the money to do it. But we can print it and bring it to the museum. so that's one of the things. Now, if you concentrate, that's a code that I put. I divide the monolith in 3 sections. This is more the Chachapoya section, just that my study. The center is a hybrid, and this is the part that is older in the monolith, the oldest part of the monolith. So I want you to concentrate in that section. That's where we found the oldest carvings. And you have it here. This is one of the photos. Now, you have to know iconography too, of the Chachapoyas. There are 2 eyes, 1, 2. There is a mouth. There is a quadrangular face here. I don't know if you see it. But it's looking like that, isn't it? You got 1 eye, another eye, and then there is something that encircles. There are more things happening here, and this is important. So this is with the monolith changing the colors. Now we start seeing. These are the 2 eyes that you saw before here, but now look at this carefully. We have something here, something like a rectangle, and there is a spiral, okay, that is going to come here. But look at, can you see these 2 letter C's? One here, there is one here. This is material that has been carved. The darkest, then you have the hole, isn't it? So there is one here, and there is another one here, and then there are 2 things here, 2 rectangles here. Concentrate in that area again. Now we change it in the monolith too. Now you can see even the material that has been carved. Can you see? They extracted all that. All this has been carved out. All this has been carved out. And then you can start seeing these rectangles that I tell you in the back. And this is a spiral that comes here. And you're going to see that. This is a clear, this is not a natural hole. That they took somebody and chiseled like a hole like that. Natural holes are not like that, and we found several of those. You can see that they intentionally put that hole there. Now, we concentrate in this area. This hole here is that dot there. That's not natural. So here. But then these 2 things here that you see were captured also by can you see? 1 and 2. These 2 were captured by the scanning. So we're not talking about shadows. So, because you can tell, well, maybe there are shadows. Shadows are not captured by the photo and the scanner. It cannot be like that. So we are not like, oh, Daniel is seeing shadow. This is not a shadow because the scanner is capturing that, so we can. So when we concentrate in this and we went to the photo, we start finding this. Okay. This takes also a formative phase. So what you have is a profile feline head, okay? This is I cannot draw it here, but this is the eyebrow. This is like that. The eye is going to be there. This is the nose, and you have 1 fang here and another fang here. There are 2 fangs like that, and then there is a spiral, which is the part of the back of the mouth, but there is no jaw. The formative drawings don't have jaw, so there is no jaw, but there is the kind of the snout, and then this is it, and the feathers go here in the back. So let me show you another one here. You can see it better in that photo. Okay. One more time. You can see this is the eyebrow, this is the nose, this is the spiral, and the most important are the fangs, 1 and 2, and the mouth comes with no jaw, and then goes to the back with the feathers. If you draw that from the scanning, it looks like this. Okay. So you have both things. You have these ones. These ones are the fangs. This is the square here, the dot with the now. That's what I said, no jaw. These are the things that you were detecting, the C's in the back. And this is very clear. And then even you have a symbol here, S, that it seems that they were carved, but these are very old symbols also from the former. You got one face looking at other. You can see it here. In the scanning, you also can see all that. This is what matters the most. This is what everybody was shocking that was here. Probably this one second. And the Chachapoya area was added to the other side. So we didn't expect to find this face, this guy here. Now, look, I want to show you this guy. Okay, that's a bottle. Okay, that's a design from Kupisnike. Can you see that? Now it's better, isn't it? Because in clay comes better. The eye, there is kind of a snout coming here. This is the eye. This is the mouth. These are the 2 fangs. and these are the feathers that come from the back. That's what informative they make the feathers. We know that there are the feathers because we found it in condors too. It's the same design that comes from feathers in condors. And these are the two fangs. So the interesting thing about this has been found in a Kupisnike bottle inside of the Gallery of the Offerings, which we can radiocarbon date, and this is in Chavin. So we know that these things were being drawn only between 0 and 200, or 100 BC and 200 BC. This is probably an artist who is trying to replicate this deity or idol from the north coast. We have other bottles that I didn't show you where the same guy, it's appearing all the time. So your two fangs are classic with the square here and then the feathers in the back. Now, you have to think that this guy is a master designer because it's in a bottle. We're talking about a petroglyph, which changes the way that they draw. And then he is not probably as good as this artist drawing that stuff. He's trying to reproduce it. No matter what, we're dealing with something that is very old there. That was reward number one. There are two rewards in the expedition. That's number one. We hit the jackpot with that. Then we found more snakes in this area. This is the one that is curled. And it looks like it bulged here. Can you see? In the back. It's like when a snake eats something and it still is digesting. It's still here. Now, you're not seeing this. You're seeing the snake from the top. Two eyes are here, 1 and 2. So the snake goes like that from the top, and something is here in the back of the snake that is not clear. We know also very clear when these dots are dots and are not natural dots, because it could be the rain. First, not the rain because the angle of the monolith. Second, when you look at the monolith close, you can see which ones are really clear, chiseled out, and which ones are natural. They're more cracked. There is another kind of debris. These are really intentional holes. Now, in the area of the sun, it's more difficult to tell, but we start finding more eyes. Can you see? 1, 2. These are little clear dots. And then we pick up the same in the scanner. So it's not only the shadow. And it's very eroded, but you start seeing things coming from the sun here. Like this one is more clear, isn't it? You can see the snake comes here all the way, the eye, and it's here all the way, goes down and curls here. This comes here. It's very eroded, but again, this is the black and white photo. The scanning pick up the same shadows. So it's not picking up natural things. It's picking up where there are grooves. So it's telling us this is for real. There are others that, as an archaeologist, I can say, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to push it because I don't know. But the ones that I'm going to push it is this one. The ones that we capture with the photo and the scanner, I'm going to say, Daddy, it's a snake. The ones that are tricky, I'm not going to push it because I'm an archaeologist. I don't try to tell you, this looks like or this could be. I'm trying to tell you what it is. The others, I will leave it like that and say, I don't know yet. I cannot push it. This is the sun, isn't it? This is the area here. Again, I'm saying the sun because it looks like that, isn't it? And then it start picking up in the scanner also these areas here. And the same hole here that appears there. So there are things that cannot be repeated in photo in the scanner. Now, second reward. So we got the first one. This is the cell phone, isn't it? So this was a Samsung cell phone that somebody said, you have to see this. So when he flipped it and opened, he showed me, I have the photo here. This is the photo that I took. Okay? So he found this behind the monolith. Okay? So he found this behind the monolith. This is the size, I would say like this, isn't it? This, it's out of planet Earth because we only find it in Chavin and other places. This is a tenon head. Okay? This tenon head, it's a head, volumetric head, and then it has a kind of a nail in the back. So the people, what they do in the temple is they make a hole, and the back of the head has this nail. So this is the head, this is the nail. So they flash it against the wall. So now you only see the head protruding, and they put different heads there. So they insert the head with that part in the wall, and that's classic Chavin. And again, that's very old. But this guy is not Chavin. That's what it is. It's not formative, but it's not cha-cha because it has mixed features. This one, that's a club, isn't it? It's not. He said he found that. They are not together. This is one item. This is another one. But he put it together for the photo. But you know that here, you pass this is a maze, an Inca maze, isn't it? Just to hit you. But they are not connected. He just put it there for the photo. But this is the important thing. Now, he didn't want us to to scan that. But what I did is we took tons of photographs. Well, Rachel took tons of photographs. And I contact Miss Ryan from, she used to be a teacher in Wayland Middle School, and we start making a clay model. So we're making a clay model here to see if we can actually, once the clay model is done and we cook it exactly with all the photos, these artists, then we can send it to Cincinnati, and the same company has agreed to scan it, and now we have in 3D the whole head, because we didn't have the chance to scan it, isn't it? You can see the head here. Let me go back. So this is this size, isn't it? Like kind of like that size, like that. But the head, it's spectacular. And this is the part that goes inside of the wall. Must have been a temple there, because they found just the stone. You can see the fangs, and you can see the gums here. This is unique. I mean, you don't find stones like that in the area, isn't it? So let me show you.
Is it a material that comes?
This is sedimentary rock.
That's sedimentary.
Yeah, it's sedimentary. It's a type, very easy. Yeah, it's easy to move. But you can move one of those and carve it even in the side. So you could have done that. We're trying to make, you can see the size. So it's not too big, but we're trying to make a replica. The first replica exploded in the oven. Yeah, so we couldn't control it, so boom, broke. So we're trying to make a second replica to scan it. Like first one didn't, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that we learn by doing it. So we have to try it again. So we're in the process of making a second replica. This is the second replica. So it's going to be burned soon in an oven, and then we're going to ship it to Cincinnati, and they scan it. Now we can have it in 3D. Ideally, my idea is that if we put a project and then we scan other two monoliths that I know where they are and everything, with our archaeological project, we can go to the Museum of Leibebamba and put the computer with the scanner so all the kids and everybody can see the 3D models there in the museum without going, going so far. So, yes?
The context for this, he said he found it when he was planting potatoes?
Plowing potatoes. He was plowing potatoes behind the monolith, and he scratched it. He said, that's what he said, and then he found it in the whole thing there.
Okay, so he was planting potatoes in the archaeological site?
Correct. Yeah, because the whole site is a farm right now. I mean, it's all full of potatoes. I mean, that's the things in Peru, isn't it? And it's like in Peru, it's like all these sites belong to people. Even the Lake of the Condors belongs to somebody else. It's like, do whatever he wants with his site, isn't it? Like, who is going to go to La Morada to protect it? So, and I'm scared right now. I cannot go and say, I'll give you $1,000 or $500. Give it to me so I can bring it to the museum, because then I become a looter as an archaeologist. I cannot do that. I cannot offer money. Even if there is a good intention and I want to buy to bring it to the museum, I will become a looter. Then I can go to jail. I cannot do that. But so Keith Moose could actually suggest I tried to convince him by saying, like, you know what, listen, I can become the godfather of your son if you give me that stone. So that is okay, isn't it? So then I can bring the stone to everybody and preserve it in the museum. I'm not offering money, but I'll take care of your kid. I'll help him with whatever you need if you give me that stone so I can bring it to the museum. I'm not stealing. You can see it every time that you go to the museum. It will be there. But now it's for everybody because it's unique. It's unique. We don't find those things. My fear is that if I return in 2021, that I want to go there back again and check the site, probably the stone. He sold it, isn't it? And maybe it was my fault because when he showed me, I put too much interest. I should have said, oh, yeah, that's a piece of stone. But I couldn't contain myself. Now he knows that it's valuable, isn't it? I mean, value is a piece of stone. So he can, and that's how things is. So I feel sometimes maybe I should have get too excited. But I did that. This is a feline head. Yes. Okay, that's a good point. If you go to the Chavin, the temple, the main temple where you find most of these stones, because we know that those tenon heads are Taylor recorded in 1912 around this temple, which is super famous in Peru. It's a huge temple underground, but it has more than 14 or 20 stones. And we got replicas of those. If you see them all, and Richard Berger is who analyzed with another person that, they are all changing from a shaman to a. So there is a transformation. So if you see the facade of the temple outside, you can see stone heads, if I show you, that look more human. And as you walk outside, the fangs start coming. The nostrils start coming like liquid. You can see it in the stone. The eyes start going up, like he's taking hallucinogens. And we have that. That's from St. Peter cactus. I mean, we have that. It's very strong chemical that is in the cactus. We have even pictures holding the cactus. So we know that the shamans were doing ceremonies. We know that the shamans became felines. We know that the shamans could fly when they ingest those drugs. We found also the shells in the temple in excavations where they were, so they injected it, and then they just like, they can see other things that nobody can see. So this, it's, as you said very well, it couldn't, yes, it is a metamorphosis from the shaman to the feline who flies into the other world and come back with whatever it is for the people and then tells you, But that's what shamans do now in the jungle. I don't know if they used to do exactly like that before. But also, quickly, so leave you then, we pass always by schools. There are two, and then tell you, there are two huge NGOs in Wayland here that are helping, with education and with health. Hatun Runa, they have done a lot. Leslie's here, and you guys have done a lot with that. And then they've been in La Morada, they've been in other towns, they've been in Chilchos, and then it's Loose Change too. That you collect the coins every year in the town of Wayland. They've done it in Sudbury as well. We're going to try to do it in Concord, and with that, we try to all the time get supplies for the library. So it's double missioning, research, but also helping the libraries here. This is fun because you arrive to this place, and then this is just amazing, isn't it? One of them, these schools in the middle of nowhere, they have nothing. And the teacher comes and says, Daniel, we'll give you a serenade, isn't it? So they come with their little instruments. The drum is broken. This is like broken in pieces, like has cracks. This is the only guitar actually has not even 6, got 5 chords because it's all broken in pieces. It sounds like kind of okay. They're trying to do their best. He has maracas, which are missing pieces. And then and he actually bought a lot of that. So he, for free, goes every day to the school and does a musical school after school for free. And all the kids are so happy. And he's teaching music, and he bought all these instruments that are like falling apart. So one of the things that we're trying to do as part of educational, music education, this year he sent me a budget, and then I said, ask me everything. We're going to implement your whole musical program for your school, because he goes from school to school around to do this musical. Music is part of the formation of the kids, and the parents are sending, but the instruments are falling apart. So we will try to get it, and then we're going to donate so these guys can have the top-of-the-notch guitars, pentagrams, the best antaras, drums. So this year we're equipping the whole band so they can just have very good instruments. So we do try to do both. We try to help the people there, and I think that's where we gain trust. And I will say, that guy never in his life would have shown me that telephone with that piece if he wouldn't trust me. And he trusts me because I didn't come to take things from them. I came to bring things to his library and his kids. That was my priority. Develop your education. And because I am close to the people, they open their hearts and their own legacy to me as an archaeologist. And because if I go the other way, I'm a foreigner, I'm a stranger. It's like, they're not going to help me. But if I enter through their hearts and really openly caring for them, they're open to help me to find and let's collaborate to reconstruct their history, isn't it? So that's what is this about. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you. So, I don't know if you have any other questions. That's perfect time. Any questions about that? Any questions about? Yes.
So the village that you were showing, that's the village at the end of the trail,
Correct.
all the way in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, La Morada. It's really far. Yes, sir.
So all their goods, their clothing, the school kids.
No clothing at all. We don't bring clothing.
No, but that all
School
has to come
supplies.
in on horse, there's no other way?
No, well, helicopter.
Oh, hell, well, yeah.
You can do it in a helicopter if you convince the Air Force. You can put everything there. You just need to you need to bribe somebody.
So how are you going to
This-
how do you get the musical instruments?
You can put in the mules.
Do that. But, so that goes.
I mean, they're not too big. Yeah, you can do that. This is another school, but also we can bring that there. I mean, that's big enough. The worst two things that I put on mules, one, it's a whiteboard. That was not a good idea. We brought 2 whiteboards really far to one location when there was no road. One never arrived because the mule hit it against every possible rock. And the other one, we ended carrying the whiteboard because we couldn't let the other whiteboard destroy, so I ended putting Sinesio or Javier with the whiteboard, and they just, okay, you guys carry the whiteboard because the mule is going to destroy it. And we took turns to carry. The other worst thing that I'm never going to do in my life is, and actually it was the first time to go into La Morada, somebody came with sorry, but that's not the word, the stupid idea is, we need vegetables. And instead of just bringing a live chicken and eat it, somebody said, oh, we need vegetables on the road. And I said, okay, we need to keep them fresh, isn't it? And somebody said, why don't we bring a cooler? And because I was nice towards some people who aren't from there, I said, okay, a cooler. And I look at the guy and says, what is that? Well, I know let's give it a try. Let's bring a cooler, okay. Yeah, all cooler from, EMS, like awesome. Yeah, with all these gadgets. And it's like, that doesn't look like something for here. And then they put the veggies and everything. Oh, it's going to be a disaster. Disaster. We put it on the top of a mule. The mule got stuck in every possible, and it was kicking to our horses. So after that, I basically, after the second, it was going to La Morada. After the first day, I just took the cooler. I just took it, and I said, I'm going to leave it here. And I put it, we buried it, I remember. I just leave it there. I said, when our way back, we're going to pick it up, okay? And I took all the vegetables, and I just throw it to the river. It's like literally, I took it, it's like, forget about the vegetables. It's like, we're not going to eat vegetables. We're going to eat meat. Is that okay? Meat, that's it. Done. And if we want potatoes, nobody's going to get broccoli and all that stuff. Okay, Daniel, okay, done. And I was done with that. And then we arrived safely and everything, and we recovered well, we knew that when we arrived to La Morada, there was amazing vegetables. I mean, there were other things, isn't it? But I was trying to be nice and say, okay, we can bring all these. Yeah, but at the end, And then when we were coming back, look at how the people were so nice that were giving us more food to eat. I remember the people were giving us food. I said, hey, this is for the road. Thank you so much for bringing. And then even one guy ran, hey, Daniel, this one for you too. And it was that. There were 2 chickens live. And he brought it in a net and said, this is for the road if you run out of food. So we basically did that because that's what the people do. We treat them well. So we tie the chickens in the bag next to the horses. And then when we come, because it was terrible in 2008, we tie the little leg of the chicken and then we let it roam and we feed them. And when comes the time, we have to cut the head of the chicken and peel it. And then we eat it because that was the only food that we had. But we treat it nice. We give them the proper life. But the locals use that. That's what they give us. And then we ran out of food. Literally, the third day in 2008, we ran out of food. It says, I try not to get the chickens, but we needed to eat the chickens. We didn't have any other food possible. But that's what it is. No coolers, no other things. So yes, we brought everything on the horses. Yes, everything on the horses.
What's the elevation of La Morada?
La Morada, it's around, I always meters, isn't it? 2,300 meters, probably. No, 2,000 meters, so multiply by 3. 6,000 feet, the plateau approximately, 6,000 feet. The highest pass, because you start here in Lake Mebamba, 1,700 meters, then the highest pass is 12,000 feet, 11,800, and then you go down. But you don't stay there, isn't it? You pass, and then descend into La Morada. That's what you have to do. So we carry a huge oxygen tank. Yes, we do. And I use it, not this year, but before, because we carry oxygen tank with mask and everything. A couple of members of my, and then you get the oxygen tank, puff like 5 minutes, and then we open it, and yes, I'm ready, isn't it? With all the oxygen there, but we have to carry the oxygen, which actually, I don't know if you know, but we put that in a mule that goes in the back, because an oxygen tank is a bomb, isn't it? So if the mule falls into the canyon, we want it to explode far from us, isn't it? It's like, so that mule that carries the oxygen tank is always like, it just goes in the back. We're carrying a bomb. It's a pressurized, huge tank. Yes, sir?
Charging your electronic device.
That's a good question. Solar panels are good.
What?
We carry tons of solar panels. Yeah, and we use them as much as we can. But I have to bring a lot of batteries too. What we use the most are my radios. This year I got new radios. I programmed, they are UHF, so they are even stronger than before. They are like huge antennas. And we needed to use batteries in one moment because we ran out of solar power. But communication, it's everything. If you don't have radios, you're doomed. I mean, radios, that's it. You need radios, huge, to coordinate everything. Yeah.
Do you have sat phones?
Yes, I carry 2 satellite phones, Iridium, so that's for emergencies. Yeah, and then we have everything mapped. If I need something, when we were coming back before, not this year, but the year before even, I arrived to a high point and then deployed my antennas, and I called them and said, we're going to get there in 6 hours. Please prepare 20 pizzas. Yeah, literally, and then they were ready. So I never tell my team, and they arrive starving and say, guess what? I ordered pizza. What? Yeah, I ordered 12,000 feet for you. So one place in a hotel, Senor Julio can get us pizzas and everything. But we have that. We have medical kit. You have to bring everything with you. We did run out of water too. We ran out of water, and so we need to rationalize it, because I didn't tell my team, and they were drinking too much water. So I understand, but when we go there, you have to rationalize the water. And when I arrived, the guy said, we don't have enough water to come back. And then I said, what do you mean? We don't. And then I talked to the team, listen, I'm going to fill all these bottles with water as much as I can. This is what I have. I have 35 liters until that point. I can't pump water. Yes, I can do it, isn't it? I got a pump, and I can pump it from the river. But remember that those filters sometimes, they filter giardia and other things, but they don't filter the chemicals from the mines. So you can have mercury there, isn't it? Or anything that they throw, or the animal. I mean, it's more. So I don't want to take the risk that somebody got, and that's where we are all safe. So I'd rather have clean water. You have to drink less, and then we return with. We made it. I think we made it even with extra water, because now everybody was more. Like, just take care of your water. And you sweat like crazy, and then I want you to drink water. Don't get dehydrated. But I don't want you to get so much water. And the way in, they were crazy. They were clock. We arrived, and the guy says, we don't have enough water, come back. And yes, sir. Oh, okay. Yes, Tim.
Daniel, you mentioned that the monolith was not sort of native to that region.
The sedimentary rock is not from there. So let's say that it's not made from these walls, but there are other sources of sedimentary rock close to the place. But in where the place is, that rock around that place is not the same type of the monolith. So there is now, but could it happen? And I don't say no. What happened if there was a landslide on one of the ravines, and brought the whole thing close to the site? We got to think that happened. Nobody carried. It said, oh, they carry the whole thing. If they carry, that could be the case, but. It couldn't be from the canyon itself. So the hypothesis that every carry, it's possible, but 50-50, and we're not sure about it. Yes.
Aside from natural erosion on the monolith,
Yes.
do you think it was that size to begin with?
Yes.
Or do you think it was larger and it's been...
No, I don't see any. We check all over, unless the erosion from the rain smoothed so much the borders that now I cannot tell if they cut it from a larger piece.
Because it seemed like some of
Yes,
these parts
because it's
were like at the edge,
yes,
and
yes.
you'd almost think
Could it be a, yeah, absolutely. That could it be. But right now, it has rained so much. And right now, it's the jungle is swelling, but it's getting, it's going to be flat in, who knows, isn't it? We're going to lose it. But now we capture it. So we have it. Yes, Tonja.
What's the glacial history of those elevations? Were there glaciers?
Yes, yeah, but we go with glaciers, but glaciation in the Andes, you are going back, far back, because the Andes were they are recent. Yes, they are shark teeth. You find shark teeth in the area. You find, but we're talking about, but they are earlier than earlier than the Everest, the Appalachians. They are like between 85 and 90 millions. So that's when they start going up.
I was thinking maybe the monolith was dropped by a glacier.
It couldn't be. That's another possibility.
Because we see that here.
Yes. It couldn't be there, that's another possibility. Yes. I don't rule all those things can happen. We have to account all that. When we said, we shouldn't say one. We should say, could have that, until further.
But
yes.
glaciers would round it out a lot more. It wouldn't be so tabular.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, if you look around
The-
here, Oh, I know.
yeah,
that's
the
what it
shape
looked
is
like, but
kind of
that's
strange.
also the nature of the material that's here. It's hard rock.
Sometimes
It's
they
metamorphic.
Yeah, and then boom. And remember, we have a lot of earthquakes in the area, isn't it? Tons of earthquakes. I mean, yes. Yes?
Is it several artists that worked on that? Can you tell? Or is it one artist?
Cannot tell.
I mean,
Cannot
the
tell.
style.
Well,
the
definitely,
shape, so
I can tell that two set of people work. Definitely the formative side, that was one type of artist, and then you have to think that the Chachapoyas were another set of artists. Now think about that too. What happened if everything was carved formative originally, and the Chachapoyas arrived, and they chisel out? Because that we have cases of that in archaeology. You chisel out other things, then smooth it, and you put your own, isn't it? But you want to leave for some reason that idol because you think, oh, this image is so cool. But the rest, we don't need it. Let's clean it, and we do our own cha-cha. I don't know if that happened, but again, we cannot rule it out. It happened a lot in archaeology. Like other culture comes and says, I don't want that. Smooth it, flat it. That's it. You put your own. The shiny spot is increasing since 2008. If you see the photos, and it's definitely pluvial erosion. It's really impacting. It's making it really smooth. Like you see when the rain.
It's just, well, I know, because it's rainforest.
Yes, it's rain. You can see it clearly. You can see it. You live at the. It looks like a pebble stone from a river. It's becoming a pebble stone, like really soft. We just leave it there. The last guides tend to put like a little more woods and everything, but the monolith will be swallowed. I mean, it rains so much. In 2 months, you don't see it again because it's so exuberant. The jungle is going to catch it again, which is going to give some protection again. It's good, some, but the moss also enters in the roots in between the cracks, and then it starts expanding. And then in the nights, in the winter, I mean, it can be rain, but you can also have like low temperature. Little by little, it's going to start, and you can see the cracks in the. So it's going to happen. Thank you so much. Thank you.